Hi everyone. President Biden has only been in office for a couple of days, and he's already made some major changes to the immigration system. In this video, I'm going to give you some of the latest updates, so make sure to stick around. Hi everyone, my name is Michael Ashoori and I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer based in Los Angeles, California. At my law firm, we regularly post videos to make sure that you're up to date with the latest immigration news. So if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up so that YouTube knows to share this information with more people. So let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, President Biden has already made some major changes to the immigration system. In this video, I want to share some of those updates with you. So the first major change that I want to update you on is regarding the so-called Muslim ban. On January 20th, in his very first day in office, President Biden signed an executive order ending the Muslim ban. Take a look at my screen and let's go through this executive order together. So take a look at my screen. And here we actually have the executive order. It's titled Proclamation on Ending Discriminatory Bans on Entry to the U.S. And here it's dated January 20th, 2021. And I'll kind of summarize it a bit. And it says basically, the United States was built on a foundation of religious freedom and tolerance, a principle enshrined in the United States Constitution. Nevertheless, the previous administration enacted a number of executive orders and presidential proclamations that prevented certain individuals from entering the United States, first from primarily Muslim countries and later from largely African countries. So I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom, and it says here, now therefore I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the U.S., by the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, hereby find that it is in the interests of the U.S. to revoke Executive Order 13780 of March 6, 2017, Proclamation 9645 of September 24th, 2017, and it continues to list some other ones as well. So just to give you guys some background information, early on in President Trump's administration, he signed an executive order that basically suspended the entry of certain people to the United States from multiple Muslim majority countries. These restrictions were termed the Muslim ban. And since this executive order was originally signed, it faced multiple legal battles, but ultimately it was very effective in preventing people from these countries from traveling to the US. Well, again, as we just saw, on President Biden's first day in office, he signed an executive order ending the so-called Muslim ban. Thousands and thousands of people from these countries will now be eligible to apply for immigration benefits that they've been prevented from applying for the last several years. So the next update that I want to share with you is regarding a temporary pause on removals, basically deportations of non-citizens from the United States. The acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security sent out a memo to the Department of Homeland Security instructing that there will be a 100-day pause of removals from the United States. The 100-day pause will be starting on January 22nd, 2021. Take a look at my screen and we'll go through it together. So take a look at this article, and it basically says, Acting Secretary of DHS directs a review of immigration enforcement practices and policies. It says here, today, Acting Department of Homeland Security, DHS Secretary Pekoski signed a memo directing DHS components, including CBP, ICE, and USCIS, to review and reset enforcement policies and set interim policies for civil enforcement while the department develops its final priorities. And it says here, for 100 days starting January 22nd, 2021, DHS will pause removals for certain non-citizens ordered deported to ensure we have a fair and effective immigration enforcement system focused on protecting national security, border security, and public safety. Now let's take a look at the actual memo. And this is an actual copy of the memo. You can see it here. It's a memorandum dated January 20th, 2021 from David Pekoski, the acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And there's a lot of information here, but I'll go to some of the important points. And it says here, due to limited resources, DHS cannot respond to all immigration violations or remove all persons unlawfully in the United States. So let's scroll down a little bit further and let's go to this section titled Immediate 100-Day Pause on Removals. And it says here, in light of the unique circumstances described above, DHS's limited resources must be prioritized to provide sufficient staff and resources to enhance border security and conduct immigration and asylum processing at the southwest border fairly and efficiently, and comply with COVID-19 protocols to protect the health and safety of DHS personnel and those members of the public with whom DHS personnel interact. In addition, we must ensure that our removal resources are directed to the department's highest enforcement priorities. Accordingly, and pending the completion of the review set forth in Section A, I am directing an immediate pause on removals of any non-citizen with a final order of removal, except as noted below, for 100 days to go in effect as soon as practical and no later than January 22nd, 2021. And now it says the pause on removals applies to any non-citizen present in the United States when this directive takes effect with a final order of removal, except, and it lists out certain exceptions here. And some of the exceptions are according to a written finding by the director of ICE, has engaged in or is suspected of terrorism or espionage, or otherwise poses a danger to the national security of the United States, or was not physically present in the U.S. before November 1st, 2020, or has voluntarily agreed to waive any rights to remain in the United States, provided that he or she has been made fully aware of the consequences of waiver and has been given a meaningful opportunity to access counsel prior to signing the waiver. And lastly, for whom the acting director of ICE, following consultation with the general counsel, makes an individualized determination that removal is required by law. So again, just to reiterate, on January 22nd, 2021, there will be a 100-day freeze on removals, on deportations of certain non-citizens. Now, as we can see, there have been some major changes already in immigration. We talked about the fact that the Muslim ban has basically been ended by executive order, and we've seen this 100-day freeze on removals. So we're seeing some major changes taking place with immigration. I believe that this is just the beginning. It's being reported that on January 29th, President Biden is going to sign additional executive orders targeting immigration, targeting issues with the refugee and asylum processes as they currently are, and targeting a new project of setting up a task force to reunite children that were separated from their families at the border. So again, I think that this is just the beginning of the changes that we're going to be seeing take shape with immigration. So again, we're going to closely monitor and continue to post videos, keeping you informed with the changes that take place. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I hope you guys like this video. If you know anybody that can benefit from this information, make sure to share this video with them. We're all about empowering you with knowledge. So the more people that can see this video that can benefit from this information, the better. If you haven't yet done so, make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay in the loop with all the videos that we're posting. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.